This is a very recent reversal of your testimony.
Absolutely not. That's ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
Democrats on Wednesday grilled former Trump officials at a House hearing on the response to the January 6th attack, with members arguing former acting defense chief Christopher Miller and former acting attorney general Jeffrey Rosen failed in their capacity to defend the Capitol and the Constitution.
Or you just plain froze and were indecisive while people were being injured, killed, while hundreds of rioters breached the Capitol, and a nation was traumatized.
Miller said he was reticent to deploy troops on that day for fear it would look like a coup, but didn't appear to own up to any shortcomings.
I stand by every decision I made on January 6th and the following days. I want to emphasize that our nation's armed forces are to be deployed for domestic law enforcement only when all civilian assets are expended and only as the absolute last resort.
But Miller did say that he spoke to the president ahead of January 6th, and Trump was interested in a boosted National Guard presence, but only to protect his supporters.
I had a meeting with President Trump on the 3rd of January concerning some international threats, and at the very end, he asked if there were any requests for National Guard support, and I informed him of Mayor Bowser's request.
Mr. Miller, to clarify that point, did you tell the president about the mayor's request, or did President Trump ask if there were requests?
He asked if there were requests.
What was the president's response to you with regard to the request made by Mayor Bowser?
Fill it and do whatever was necessary to protect the demonstrators and that were executing their constitutionally protected rights.
At issue, why there was a delay in requesting reinforcements as a mob of Trump supporters violently flooded into the Capitol, and whether Trump was involved in that delay.
Did President Trump, as the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, call you during the January 6th attack to ensure the Capitol was being secured? Mr. Miller.
No, I had all the authority I needed from the president to fulfill my constitutional duties.
Did you speak with President Trump at all as the attack was unfolding?
No, I did not. I didn't need to. I had all the authority I needed and knew what had to happen. I knew what had to happen.
I can tell you, the House floor was never breached, and it was not an insurrection.
Meanwhile, Republicans downplayed the events of that day, defending President Trump and his supporters, and focused their ire on Democratic lawmakers.
Nancy Pelosi, I just don't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. 19 people died during BLM riots last year, and yet we're going to discuss today as if none of that happened.
Wednesday's hearing came right after Republican House members stripped Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney of her leadership position for confronting President Trump over his false claims of election fraud, the very same big lie, she said, that fueled the insurrection on January 6th.